Ionavation. We out in New Rochelle, Ionavation. Moving with Intel, Ionavation. Now we in the groove.
Hello, Ionavators. Welcome back to the Ionavation Podcast. I'm Rihanna.
And I'm Jerry. And today we welcome on three great guests. First, I'll introduce Dr. Christoph Winkler, who is an endowed professor and the founding program director here at the Hynes Institute. And we also welcome on Chyanne Blakey and Kaelene Walter.
Hi.
So maybe if you guys just want to share a little bit about yourselves.
Okay, so I'll go first. Hi, everyone. I'm Chyanne. I am a junior at Iona, double majoring in entrepreneurship and marketing. I am the chair of SLAM on campus, which is the Student Leader Alliance for Multiculturalism. I'm on a bunch of committees on and off of campus. And yeah, I'm also a research assistant for Dr. Sheeta Weaver at the Hynes Institute. I think that caps up everything.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kaelene Walter. I'm a sophomore here at Iona. I am also a part of the softball team here at Iona. I am a major in entrepreneurship, and I plan to double major in mass communications. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Dr. Winkler, you want to share a fun fact about yourself?
Fun fact. All right. Well, for me, actually, the fun is just working with everybody at Iona College. Really try to build something that is really exciting to do together. I think entrepreneurship is all about giving everybody the ability to change the world, and I think that's the fun part. If you're really looking for a fun fact, for me, I think I love sports, I love running, and I ran 3 New York City marathons at some point, which really I think pushed me to a level where I realized that entrepreneurship is actually not that much different. That it takes time, perseverance, and ultimately with every step that you take, you get closer to the goals that you'd like to achieve.
Definitely. So we're super excited to have you all on this podcast today. Maybe to kick it off, Dr. Winkler, can you tell us a little bit about the majors available at Iona for entrepreneurship? And then Chyanne and Kaelene, can you tell us what made you decide to major?
Okay. Yes, Rihanna, I'm happy to do that. First of all, we are a new institute, a relatively new institute. We're only 3.5 years old, but last summer we finally got official approval for our new entrepreneurship majors. Leading up to this, we already offered a number of courses, a minor in entrepreneurship. We also had a graduate program that we offer in conjunction with the La Penta Business School. But we're really excited to actually move into this next important step of our program development, which is 2 majors that are somewhat more closely aligned with our respective schools. So we have a BBA in entrepreneurship, which is a more traditional entrepreneurship BBA embedded within the larger structure of the La Penta Business School. And then we have a BA in entrepreneurial leadership, which is a BA program, and more aligned with other liberal arts degrees, and really embedded as an opportunity for students who are not in the business school. And I think that's also a great opportunity for students to think about entrepreneurship from a leadership perspective, what it means for them. And between those 2 programs, I think we have a great portfolio to really encourage students to not only practice entrepreneurship through our co-curricular program, but also study entrepreneurship and using the structures of the course to really set themselves up for the careers that they would like to pursue in a very positive manner.
Definitely. And then also just showing how entrepreneurship can be used with anything, and it's not just a business major. So Chyanne and Kaelene, can you tell us a little bit about what made you want to declare a major in entrepreneurship?
Sure. So for me, I came to Iona as an entrepreneur. I had a business doing makeup freelance. And I knew that coming here, I wanted to be in the minor because that's what was available at the time. And I immediately, my second semester of my freshman year, I enrolled into the Intro to Entrepreneurship course, and I started the path into my entrepreneurship journey at Iona College. The main thing that inspired me was I wanted to know how to further my career post-college as an entrepreneur.
Well, for me, I come from a family that has a lot of entrepreneurs in itself. I have a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins who kind of took their own path in their businesses. And I kind of was inspired by that. And I feel like I love innovation and I love creative freedom. And I really thought it was a good fit for me because it was realistic, it was hands-on. I was actually super interested in the education I was receiving, and I feel like that's super important for people. And I know that my freshman year, I took the intro course with Professor Winkler himself, and I loved that course, and that honestly inspired me to continue on with it. So,
Awesome. Well, two different backgrounds. That's pretty good. Me personally, I'm an entrepreneurship major too, through the School of Arts and Science, because I double major with media and strategic communications. And I also interned at the Hynes Institute, and that's how I was able to find out about the major and everything we do here. And I've taken a lot of classes. Dr. Winkler, would you be able to explain some of the classes that students enrolled in the major would take, and kind of what the classroom experience here at the Hynes Institute is like?
Okay, absolutely. So the courses themselves are really hands-on, as Kaelene also mentioned, and I think the important is really giving our students an experiential approach to learning, right? I believe entrepreneurship is really something that allows you to, explore yourself in a way that positions you from a psychological perspective in terms of what is the mindset that you can bring to the table, that you can develop. And you can only do this, I firmly believe, through being actively engaged in your own personal and professional development. And we're using sort of the processes of entrepreneurship to help our students pursue that journey. And the courses themselves are very hands-on in this regard. They're not, heavy on sort of lecture and tests. They are heavy on experiences and personal development. Every class really has a project component where you get to pursue an idea, either as an individual or as a group, and really, working through the different elements. The intro course has been mentioned before. That's sort of our first course that our students take. And then we have a whole host of courses that really focus on, how to find ideas, how to develop entrepreneurial design thinking skills, how to business model sort of an idea by really trying to figure out how to make it sustainable in terms of, the costs associated and also the revenue or the funding support that is needed. And then we have a series of electives that students can take, and these are really span a broad range of activities, from the art of curating, real estate development. We have with other courses, revolving around sort of the legal aspects, as well as intellectual property. So again, supporting elements in our entrepreneurship curriculum. And we also have a strong emphasis on social entrepreneurship, which is also, I think, very important in terms of our college's mission, but also I think what we see with our students to really, how can you bring about change in your community, and how can you use the entrepreneurial process and engine to do that? Every student who goes through our program will actually take a final course in their senior year, which is either an entrepreneurial experience course where you get a chance to work on your business idea, on your business, or some kind of entrepreneurial project, as well as the other option is to participate in an internship program. So our students can work within an entrepreneurial company, whether this is a startup or an innovation kind of company or something that works in the entrepreneurial finance space. So there's lots of options there, but at its core, the courses are experiential. They put you at the center of the learning and allow you to explore yourself within the pathways that really give you an opportunity to, pursue impact within our communities.
Definitely. I remember when all of the electives and everything started launching, and I had this conversation with you, Dr. Winkler. I was like, well, can I take like 3 of them? And you were like, Rihanna, you don't need 3. But that just shows like how many, like, these classes are really awesome, and there's so many opportunities in all these classes. I'm actually taking the social entrepreneurship class that you mentioned with Chyanne this semester, and it's actually like my favorite class so far, because I'm able to, like, it's really cool because even though it's virtual, but we're still able to work hands-on with each other in the classroom and ultimately communities in Westchester. So then maybe like both of you, Chyanne and Kaelene, maybe can you share your favorite entrepreneurship class and why?
I particularly enjoyed my ENT 307 course, is one that I'm enrolled in currently, and it's business law. So I'm learning a lot of like technicalities to owning a business and like patents, laws. Everything I'm learning every day is super brand new to me. And I really love my professor also. He's super funny. He keeps it very interesting. That simple 50 minutes to an hour class becomes something that I look forward to all the time. And I would say that was what I really enjoyed.
Yeah, for me, I definitely have to agree with Rihanna on Entrepreneurship 303 course, the social and civic info, because that course for me is directly aligned with what I want to do in life. I want to have a business that helps people who are physically disabled. And I feel like in that course, I'm getting everything that I need from Dr. Weaver. And I feel like even our project where we're going to be working with actual developed businesses and helping them innovate ways to connect with their beneficiaries during this COVID pandemic is really like the most involved I've ever been in a class at Iona College in general. And I'm extremely grateful to have that experience here.
And there's I think like one thing that I appreciate too with all of the entrepreneurship classes is literally how many options that there are to take. Like you said that one's aligned with what you want to do, and Kaelene, you're saying like you were interested in the law one. Like there's just so many to choose from. So I think that's really something I appreciate. Maybe Dr. Winkler, can you tell us a little about how can gaining an entrepreneurial mindset help students beyond Iona's campus?
Absolutely. So one thing I think we all discovered the last year during COVID is that, there's uncertainties in many different ways, right? I mean, whatever we think we have control over, it takes, just one thing to shift, which requires us to, not only react, but really reimagine sort of how we can move forward. And I firmly believe that an entrepreneurial mindset allows you to do that better, more efficiently. And I think as we then, putting COVID aside, I think as a general principle, we want our students or graduates to be empowered to make decisions about their careers and really give them the agency, the power to do that, right? Not relying on sort of the external forces, some companies or some other kind of structures to take care of them in that way. I want them to be active participants to, either start something on their own, to become sort of proactive and innovative within existing organizations, but ultimately really, become leaders in whatever field that they choose, right? And I think what discipline that is, or what industry it is, or which field it is, doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because it needs to be related to where our graduates are. And also one thing that we see is becomes increasingly important. The world around us changes so quickly. So either we can decide to observe the change and see where we fit in, or we can become proactive participants in that change, to being sort of an accelerant for that change through our actions within our larger community. And I think this is really where the power of an entrepreneurial mindset resides. And this is something that I think is core to our curriculum, as well as the overall program that we provide for all Iona students.
Perfect. And then Kaelene and Chyanne, can you guys maybe talk a little bit about how you've applied the entrepreneurial mindset that you've acquired through the classes here outside of the classroom?
Sure. So for me, I'm a marketing major. So with doing entrepreneurship, it's really thinking creatively and being on top of your game, always figuring out like, if this is the circumstances, how can I make it tailored for me? And I feel like especially now, doing everything at home, we're really having to get creative in all of our classes, even outside of class. As a leader on campus, getting everybody involved and planning events and everything, you really have to look at what you have and create the best out of all of the circumstances. And I feel like having that background in entrepreneurship and developing that mindset has really accelerated me in all of my skills.
I would say that these courses have really taught me how to change my mindset. And I feel like entrepreneurship is not just opening your business, it's like how you're looking at the things around you, how creative can you be, how innovative can things get. And personally, my dad, he is an entrepreneur. He has his own business for heating and air conditioning, and I help him a lot too. I help him type out like proposals. It's more of the digital stuff because, it's my dad. And I also think that it's super important to support smaller businesses. I've been thinking about that too, especially in COVID. And I also think the simpler things are what helped me the most. So it's just like responding to people in a way that is very business approachable. Um, Communication skills, networking is super important too. I think that also helped me a lot. But all around, it's more of like a foundation for something better, which I really appreciate.
I think the thing too that I've really picked up through all the classes here too is like my understanding of entrepreneurship has obviously like increased in my time here, but like the big thing that I've picked up is like the problem solving too, like identifying a problem, finding a solution to it, working at that solution. And I never really thought about entrepreneurship as um, a method of problem solving, but that's also a huge portion that I've picked up here as well.
Yeah, and Kaelene, like you mentioned, like the networking, even like pitching in some of your classes, like how do you present yourself, right? So there's definitely like a bunch of tools that we're learning in the class that we're able to leverage and use outside of the class, whether if it's in another class or like at internships or whatever the case may be. But this has been awesome. Thank you all for joining us. Lastly, we just to close things off, Kaelene and Chyanne, we just want to know, what do you recommend for students who are interested in studying entrepreneurship?
I would recommend people who are coming to Iona, like first years, I would definitely recommend ask as many questions as you can. Definitely attend any type of entrepreneurship events. I think that's super helpful, just talking to somebody with the experience. I mean, anybody in the Hynes Center is so incredible. I think everybody like remembers your name. Super, super helpful. I think that's probably the best way to go, I would say.
I definitely agree. I feel like if you're on campus, just walk in. If you have the opportunity and the time, go to an e-talk. If you have any questions, ask anybody. I mean, you can ask any of the staff, any of the students, um, literally anybody that I've ever met affiliated with the Hynes Institute is so down to help anybody get involved with the major and the minor, or even just taking a course. Like, take the intro to entrepreneurship course, and if it's not it for you, it could be counted as an elective towards your major that you do choose, but it definitely is worth the experience and you will not leave empty-handed.
Perfect. Thank you. And Dr. Winkler, for all those students out there that are getting ready to declare their major, how should they go about declaring for entrepreneurship?
So the best way to declare major is just to shoot me an email, and we can blend this into our podcast and add the link as well. I usually sit down with students to look at their existing courses. But first I would just start like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your interests, right? And really having conversations around that, whether students have taken on a entrepreneurship course or not. I also explain to them to a large extent, besides the courses that they would have to take, about all the learning that happens in between the courses. At the Institute, we have a very robust co-curricular program in place, some of which is even bleeding into our existing courses, whether it is through, as Chyanne mentioned, through e-talks. We have a tremendous amount of workshops. Our mentoring program is really, really powerful. We have a lot of alumni and people in the community who want to work and help support students. So, really emphasizing how we can work together at the intersection of our curricular activities, our co-curricular activities to engage within our community. And I really want to pay attention that this is not getting lost also when we think about the majors, because the program is much broader than the majors. For some, it's an entry point to get more involved. And our student club, which I'll give Brianna a quick shout out as our CEO president, is also a great way to get involved. So again, to answer your question, reach out to me. I'm happy to meet with anybody to discuss this further. I would then help declare the majors, even discuss double major options, which a lot of our students are pursuing. We really designed our program to make it easier for students to do a double major. Working through those motions is super important. But one thing I really want to stress here is, the entrepreneurship program is really about the students, and everything we do centers our students, and we try to really connect you to opportunities and empower you to act on those opportunities, and you will be able to do that. And as you move through the next sequences and getting more and more students on board, our community is ever increasing. So just shoot me an email and I'm happy to chat.
Perfect. And we will provide Dr. Winkler's email in the description of this video. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to him. And if you have any questions on anything at all related to the Hynes Institute, you can follow us on our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, @Hynes Institute. And please do not hesitate to reach out to us through those platforms as well. Kaelene, Chyanne, Dr. Winkler, we want to thank you guys for coming on today to talk about the major. It's a very new and exciting time here because of it. And we hope everybody looks into and declares for entrepreneurship. So thank you. We will now be signing off. Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Take care. See you soon.
We really working, Gale Ventures the spot. Bert and May got the podcast hot. We innovating, no debating, we creating. Ionavators in our lane, never hating. We just worry about us and what we do. Ionavation Podcast show, get in tune.